Hello and welcome. It's the chat. I am Manny. My guest on the program this week is legendary. One man, 4 World Cup finals. Let's meet him in a minute.
Sebastian Broderick Imasuen, aka Sabara, an octogenarian born on the 9th of July 1938, was a former coach of the Nigerian Golden Eaglets team. Sebastian attended St. John's Primary School, Onitsha, and gained admission into Bishop Shanahan College, Olu, in 1955, where he obtained his West African School certificate in 1960. On leaving school, Sebastian joined the ECN Football Club of Lagos, where he featured as a regular team player from 1962 to 1970. In 1965, Sebastian became a member of the ECN team that won the coveted National Challenge Cup. He was also a member of the national football team to the Olympic Games in 1968. Sebastian retired from active football in 1968 and moved to coaching to enable him impart knowledge of the game on the younger generation. For this, he attended several coaching courses, both within and outside Nigeria. By 1985, Sebastian had become a full-fledged coach, coaching Bendel State Under-13 football team that won the first National Sports Festival in Lagos in 1973. In 1985, Sebastian was appointed the chief coach of the National Under-16 football team. He participated in the maiden edition of the Kodak Under-16 World Cup football competition, where he led the group of Nigerian youngsters to China to win the cup for Nigeria and the entire African continent, beating West Germany in the final match by 2 unreplied goals. Sebastian is presently the technical advisor to St. Paul's Football Club, Benin City. He is married with 3 children and grandchildren.
Well, the great Sebastian Broderick Imasuen.
That's right, thank you.
So pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet
I was
you
just
too.
saying to you earlier on that in those days that you were playing football, some of us were sometimes climbing the tree on Onikon Stadium, to watch people like you play. No, but you were in those days very good with free kicks.
Yes,
because your role was midfield, wasn't it?
Attacking midfield.
Yes, and you played for ECN.
ECN first, and then Bender Insurance.
Okay, yes. It was that glorious match against Mighty Jets of Jos that you excelled with that free kick.
Yes, that was Bender Insurance.
Let's even go back to your early days. Your football started, was it here in Bendel or Edo State now or elsewhere?
It started at Onitsha. I was born Onitsha.
Really?
In Anambra State then.
Wow.
Yes.
Those days that you were playing football, did you know the rules of the game, or you were just knocking the ball all over the place?
Whatever the coach tells us is the right thing. It was when I got to train as a coach, and we have these football rules and so on. You have to read it so that they can impart it to the players.
But haven't the rules changed, better now to explain the game of football?
I think it has changed. For example, in those days, when you're taking football, the game is to start. You have to play the ball forward. It has to go in front, circumference of the ball in front before you can play it. But now, when you turn back and pass the ball back to your own man. You have observed it in the matches now.
Yes.
You know our time? No. You have to play the ball forward. Now you have to play it back to start again.
You were amongst the first Nigerians to ever play against the Brazilian side.
That's right.
Do you recall the game? You played against Pele.
We played against Santos. Santos of Brazil. Santos was Pele's team.
The important thing was that you played against the world's most popular footballer, didn't you?
I did.
How was that game, and did you think about him?
Oh, it was a great game because when they came, we played at Onikon Stadium in Lagos Island.
Yeah.
When they came, they said they should not allow Pele to score. they should not allow you to score. So when the game was on, he was going around. When they mark him here, he go there. But when the time came for him to shoot, nobody saw him when he stole and they gave him the ball and he shot straight into the net. They said, look at the person, they said everybody should hold, he shouldn't score. He has scored. So that's the magic of football. That's the magic.
Now, I mean, your football career now, eventually veered into coaching, didn't you?
Right.
And I was saying earlier in my introduction that you were the first to perhaps take a team to 4 World Cup finals. Can you explain, a little bit on this?
In 1985, we went to China to play against all our opponents. Even Mali, we played Mali at the stage. We played about 7 games to qualify for the final.
That was the first time Nigeria won a FIFA-organized competition at the under 16 level,
yes.
wasn't it?
It was.
And you were the coach that took.
Yes,
Do you know most Nigerians, including myself, did not know that competition was going on until you got to the semi-finals. Yeah. And some of us thought, how could these be Nigerians? Nobody gave them a chance. Nobody thought they were a Nigerian side. And recall you were even telling me before this interview that they said, the reason is because the coach was foreigner. Is that not so? Because of your name, Sebastian Broderick.
There's no Benin name, there's no Igbo name there. They say he's a foreign coach. His name is Sebastian Broderick.
No, but how did you manage to put together that team? Because the performance was unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you frankly, earlier on in my career, I was taking a youth in Bende State then, now. And so when I took a Dokpolo Grammar School in 1983 to win all school sports, played at Liberty Stadium in Ibadan. We beat King's College by 2-1 at Liberty Stadium in Lagos. Then earlier on, I took the team under 13 to win all school sports, the first all school sports at the National Stadium in Surulere in Lagos. Then, that time, this man was the man in charge of sports in the country, late Ikazabo.
Oh, yes.
Of the Air Force. He invited me because they have this team they call Youth Form. Youth Form.
Yes.
Youth Form, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That later Abiola was their big man there.
The patron.
Patron, yes. So they said there's a nucleus that I should start with. This Youth Form. Then I went to Lagos to take the team to pick some.
But hang on, at that time, you were coaching these under 16 boys.
Yes.
Were you trained as a coach?
I was trained 1975 as a coach in England by late Ogwemudia. He sent me abroad.
Okay.
Yes.
You went. Which club were you attached to?
I was attached to. For those who know England very well, I went for the course in Durham, northeast of England.
Yeah.
When I finished, I had attachment to Manchester United. That time it was Tommy Doherty who was the manager of
Man United.
Man United, not this one that just retired. What's his name?
Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. No. I was attached to Manchester United, Manchester City. Manchester City then was in second division. They was not in the Premier League. And then Queen's Park Rangers in London.
Yes.
I had attachment by the state.
For how long did you stay with
1 month each.
Okay.
For the 3 clubs I stayed. So that it was after I had come back that I was invited to take the Honor 16 in 1985.
Well, that's brilliant. So you didn't even get a coach's badge, FIFA coach's badge.
No.
You just got an attachment?
No, I wanted the course. FA. English FA.
Yes.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes,
Now let's even go further than the under 17 because that was, an inspiring victory for most Nigerians. For the first time ever,
Yes.
Nigeria could assemble a team of footballers that won the under 17
World Cup.
That period, we're talking about 4 World Cup finals,
that's right.
and in one of them, Nigeria was about to be banned for using overage players.
That was a threat. Some people, maybe from...
Are you sure they were not banned?
No, it's on record. There's no team banned under 16.
But they were going to be banned because you used overage
There was a
players.
threat. People, and eventually they held a discussion. That was in 1987. That's Canada.
Yes.
87. It was Philip Osondo. It was gazetted and so on. And eventually they said it was clean. Then he continued the tournament with us.
Well, Philip Osondo, soon after that, just completely disappeared
Well,
from football. What happened?
He's an Aba boy. He's meant to be a trader, not to be a footballer. So while we were even playing in Italy, he was buying things that he would sell when they get to Upper Market. So as soon as he finished, he went to play for the junior team of Anderlecht in Belgium.
Yes.
That was where his football just died, So nobody heard about it. I think he went into business instead of football.
Who were your contemporaries in football then? I know one of them is Paul Hamilton.
Late Rigogo. Well,
Rigogo,
the goalkeeper. I don't like. I'll be sober now because it's not good enough for me that all my colleagues, most of them are dead. But I thank God for keeping me alive now.
What keeps you going? I saw your beautiful wife earlier on.
It's goodwill.
She's one of the reasons.
It's believing in God, and we do things we think are right. We don't try to think bad of everybody. Like at a time in my profession, I always prayed for those in front of me, ahead of me, to move forward so that the space they leave, I can go into it. Not that they should die so that they can promote me. It's not the best prayer. And you cannot live long with that.
Now you're retired and you're watching football all over the place, I'm sure. Yes. What are your thoughts about present day football?
Well, there are a lot of change in the rules and regulation of football. It's natural that as time goes on, these rules will be changed. Or like, for example, the one they use photograph to find out whether the ball is over the line or whether it's a goal. Technology. Now it's better.
But is it not slowing down the game?
We know that because football is something that comes as a sport of the moment. So if you play it bad, but it's natural that you have to find out what happened.
There's not what you call continuity.
Yes, that's what
from the under 16 to the under 20 to the senior football side.
We don't have nationally. We don't have program for that. The coach cannot do that himself. At the time we won the World Cup, they said they will try the best to get the boys into a school. Some of the boys don't want to go to school. They want money, So, and all these problems are there.
So, how can we ensure that there's continuity, in our football? How can we ensure that, people, sort of progress from one level of football to another?
It's the academy thing. It's important. It's important to have academies. Now, from these academies, some of the boys may be sent abroad to be youth players for some professional clubs. That's how some of these boys, like Iwobi, how he started in the academy of Arsenal, that is now doing very well.
But we have a few academies all over the country now.
Yes, we have a few.
Are they sufficient?
They are not sufficient. But we have to start from 1 to 2 to 3. You have to take it easy.
Do you honestly think that government should lay off its hands in Nigerian football?
I think so. Because I think the interference, you need somebody who is a professional to interfere in business. Like you're working with your group now. You are there, you have to interfere because you know about it. Somebody who did, who had whatever you call it in the university, comes maybe how to build houses, and then you say, you tell them, because he pumps the money. You have to get somebody who knows about football.
What for you was the lowest point in your football career? Looks like you never really had low points in your football career. As you're thinking about it. Has there been any football match that made you cry afterwards?
That was a long way back.
Really?
Yes, that was a long way back.
Tell me about what happened.
It was in 1963. We were supposed to win the Challenge Cup in Lagos, ECN, and we lost. We were Lagos champions. We were supposed to be national champions.
And then what?
And then we lost the match.
Who did you lose the match to?
Memory again.
You don't remember who you lost the match to?
Yeah, but that was my saddest day in my football career. All through, it has been marvelous. You know?
So that particular match
was bad.
Saddened you a lot?
Saddened me a lot, yes.
Okay, what would be the highest point of your football career?
It was when we won the World Cup under 16 in China in 1985.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
It's easy to remember, isn't it?
Easy, not only because we won it, but there was something behind it. My mother, while I was working here in Benin as a coach, I had my colleagues who, apart from doing their job as state coaches, they had some other private jobs with schools and so on. Because I believe they all grew up here. And I didn't grow up here. I'm not known by many people here, except knowing me as a national player. They get contract from, like, Central Bank. They play Central Bank games every year. One of them is asked to be taking the Central Bank privately on his own. He will do his official job and go to that one, and they pay him allowances. Another one is Union Bank. You go there, you have Union Bank competition around the whole country. You go there. But I believe I was doing well, and I deserved to have such opportunity to make small money along with my own in the office. So when I went to Onitsha in those days, I told my mother, I said, I don't know why, I believe I'm doing well, Mama, but my colleagues, they all get some other jobs doing to foster, to bring up their take-home salaries. He said, Saba? I said, yes. He said, your afternoon will be better than your
evening or night.
Yeah, evening.
Let me ask you.
But I've not landed. So, when we went to China and we won the World Cup, the highest cup you can win in the world, and myself as the head coach, as the chief coach, when I entered my hotel, I went to my bed. I started shedding tears. I said, my mother told me that my morning would be better than my evening. So my evening has started now. I was so happy. That was my highest point in my football career.
What do you, Sebastian, find most satisfying about your life? That if you had a chance to live it again, you will do it the same way?
God has given one way or the other. Give people what could take them around their life. But sometimes people miss it because they went for the wrong thing, not the one God has given. I believe that football was what God gave me. And I stuck to it. I would have left it to do other things. I was very good in lawn tennis. I was very good in table tennis and all that I could get the height. I believe I could get the height of football. But football made me more satisfying. And I have no regrets taking football as my profession.
When you retired in football, was it out of injury or lack of fitness?
I retired voluntarily because I was getting a lot of problems. By the time I took the Under 16 in 1989 to
Scotland?
No, to
Japan?
to Scotland, yeah, to Scotland. I came back, and some of the players, like Victor Ekpeba,
Agbonivare.
No, not
Did you have him
Agbonivare.
in the team?
No, those I took. It was not in '89. It was in '85. But when we played in
Under 20?
that same Under 16 in Scotland, he drove all the way from London to come and watch us in Scotland. That Victor, Kingsley Akionbare.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He came to. But after that, they said he died miraculously in England.
You're going to be cast away on an island.
Yes.
Huh? It's like taking you to prison,
Yes.
where you're allowed only 5 items. It does not include your wife.
Yes.
You're allowed to take 5 things that are so important to you that will keep you company when you are there for 2 weeks. What are the sort of things that you like to take along with you?
It's a big one.
I know.
In a flash. In a flash. The first one, where I would say football every day. 2 is my wife.
You are not allowed to take your wife. What else? Do you normally take medication every day?
Oh, drugs, medication.
You don't even remember this. You only remember your wife.
Well, because she does everything. At this age now.
She's your medication.
At this time, she's my medication.
Is it just the 2 of you in this house?
No.
Where are the others? I mean, where are your children?
They are only. I will come and tell them to leave their own children to come and stay with me. If they are in England, I'll say they should stay there and come here. It's not possible. You know?
So where are they? How many children do you have?
I have
You can't count.
20.
You have several children?
No, I just try to be funny. I have 4 children.
And they're all...
They are not here.
Okay. You have grandchildren as well?
Yeah, they are young. You know. They stay with their parents. I cannot keep them here now.
Okay, let's go back to this castaway.
5.
Football, you said.
Football, my Bible. Medication, 3, remaining 2, it's only 2.
Yeah.
Water is life.
Okay.
Taste for water is like you came here, I didn't want to drink, you wanted water.
Yeah.
That's 4.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure if you were giving your way, you'd want to take your wife along, wouldn't you? What is so loving about her that you always want her around you?
We belong together, and she knows even more than what I think I know about myself. Yes,
Really?
Yes.
You have been together for over 30 years.
Yes.
What do you like so much about her?
Because she knows me very well. She knows me. She knows what I can do. She knows what I cannot do.
Does that have to do with being together for that long, or is it what you always
You can
recommend?
be together for that long, and she may not know much about you. You can, but she knows much about me, and I believe she knows more.
Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed your company, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I think so. I'm sure I did.
Well, it's been the chat with Sebastian Imasuen. Thank you for watching. I'm Manny. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.